Hey everybody, Speedy from the Spinner Rack in total control with my boy.
Calvin Ellis, ready to rock. Looking for good pictures.
This is the way the show is supposed to be. Two-man crew killing it. So as of right now, we got a Venom, Let There Be Carnage. I'm very excited about this. Saw the first one on a plane and I enjoyed it. I got guilted out of watching it in the theater. So we're gonna see this one. However, we get to see it, we got to watch it at home or spaced out in the theater because of the COVID regulations. But let's check. Any thoughts you want to talk about before we look at this trailer,
Roll
Cal?
tape.
All right, ready, set. Hopefully, I didn't screw up.
Roll out.
This world is carnage. Eddie, we should be out there snacking on bad guys.
Yes.
I am a predator. I need to be free. You have got to get control of your aggression, or you will get hauled off into Area 51. You live in my body, you live by my rules. I'm sorry, I don't want to take over me, please. Let me fix it so I can play it again. You are a loser.
It's just so nutty.
Eddie Brock, I want to give you my story. People love serial killers.
Please, why me?
What's mine is yours, and what's yours is mine. I have tasted blood before, and that is not it.
Oh Lord, that was gross.
All I ever wanted in this world is
Oh man.
Oh Lord. Okay, there we go. Oh Lord, it's gonna be a rough one.
I'm a crazy man. I am a vengeful one.
Goodness.
That is a red one.
You need to come out right now. And she'll eat everybody.
Promise. I promise. Oh, yeah.
Baby, you feel like home to me. Like family.
Oh goodness.
Oh, wow.
You could just say I'm happy for you.
That was going to be us.
Yeah, I'm happy for you.
No.
Two in some serious couples counseling.
Wow. Wow, look at that.
Okay, yeah. What's the release date?
This fall.
I'm sorry. What was the release date for this trailer?
Oh, I'm not sure. Hold on. Let's look at this. I'm looking at this picture. Let me get out of this. Saving this. This is going to be our poster. August 2nd. What are you thinking?
August 2nd? Oh man, what is it now? Yeah, I totally missed this, but those carnage scenes look excellent.
Yeah, Lord.
Those
It's
carnage scenes look excellent. It looks like he's nailing the Cletus Cassidy character. I mean, it just looks really good, really good. There was a time where I always follow the books because I sell, so I'm always looking at the books to see where the numbers are in respect to like if a trailer drops, that type of thing. And I got to check these numbers now to see where Amazing Spider-Man 361 is based on whatever buzz is going to come out of that trailer. But I know the book is selling. I mean, that was an $80 book maybe about a year and a half ago, and I know it's not there anymore.
It's the thing is I never thought the Carnage character was a great sort of visual, but it's kind of the same as the other character where I guess Venom was trying to transition. But ultimately, it was just another cool look. I think without without David Michelini working on them, he turned into just rabid mess. Whereas the key to Venom and Carnage was that they kind of had these bits that could get around all of Spider-Man's powers and stronger than them. So none of his things kind of worked, but there was they could be outsmarted. That's the only thing that you could do against these guys. I think at some points they kind of made them too powerful, but at some points, I think when Tom DeFalco did them, it was just like he was just Carnage was just this rabid sort of thing. Where they were trying to sort of play that there was no sort of moral side to Cletus, that character, so it made it even worse sort of character. But I think Tom DeFalco, and I mentioned Tom DeFalco because Tom DeFalco had Carnage mixed with the Silver Surfer, and somehow Spider-Man's able to dodge and hit and saying, I can't let Carnage become anything. And it's just like it's not how it works. The whole point of the alien's already inside of Spider-Man's head. So whatever Venom has to get around the spider sense and speed, Carnage has. So that's the whole key to the character. When you throw that out, you throw out what it is. But then they merged with the Silver Surfer, and the characters can't touch Spider-Man anymore. It's like Tom DeFalco does not know how to deal with these characters. So it ultimately was a character that kind of was there to challenge Spider-Man because it kind of even though Michelini with Todd McFarlane kind of did a Spider-Man that could struggle with his classic villains. He did a real classic sort of run with Todd McFarlane and Eric Larson, where it was kind of you got that ground level character back to the book, and then a little bit later when Bagley got on it, it got kind of back to where it was, where Spider-Man was the bouncing guy you couldn't touch. But that said, let's pull away all connection to Spider-Man. They're just having fun. So that's what I'm going into, have some fun and see what they do. So what else? What are your thoughts?
Look, well, the fun word is the foremost thing in my mind because the whole selling point of this movie is Carnage. Mm-hmm. You got the Venom movie, and they already say, okay, we're going to go, we're going for the gusto. We're going to bring Carnage in, and we'll do another symbiote as well because they're going to have, I think that's Scream.
Oh, yeah.
Is it Scream or Shriek? I think, yeah, Shriek. It's Shriek. So they're going to have one other, they will have one other there, and they're not going to go She-Venom. At least they're not going to go full She-Venom in this one. So, you got that. But then I'm looking at Woody Harrelson. I can just see from the trailer, which is the reason why we need trailers to a certain extent, Kevin Feige, Sony. I'm looking at what's doing over there, and it's like, wow, he looks like he's, he actually looked like he's doing it. He's turning it in. I'm like, okay, great. Not phoning it in, but turning it in. And then you got the scenes that, okay, look straight out of the comic. It looks like, okay, great. I would definitely want to sit down and see the movie. That's all. I mean, I don't need to see another trailer. I probably won't watch another one since they haven't given the definitive date as to, at least I don't see a definitive date yet as to when the film is supposed to be coming out. Mm-hmm. So this is probably all I need to just be rooted. The only thing I'll check more interest in terms of how the books are selling. Well, just a note, since, I do sell, this was an $80 book. This is a book that you could have gotten for $80, literally about a year and a half ago, right before pandemic hit. You could have gotten this for about $80 or around that price at the end of the day, maybe a little bit more. It's a $350 book. That's been the peak price on this book at the end of the day. So there's definitely some interest there. And the other thing I also have to say is, like Amazing Spider-Man 300, this is not a rare book. There are a ton of copies of this book out there.
That's the crazy part about this, is that these are the books because of the character that appears in it. Like over time, Hulk 181 became I don't even know if you can really call it a rare book, but the fact that most of the ones are out to collectors and not in stores is why that. But Hulk was right under Spider-Man as one of the top sellers. So like people don't look at it because they remember that the Hulk didn't sell as much as the X-Men anymore. So they're like, why is Wolverine, the popular character, introduced in the Hulk? when it should be in something like the X-Men when the X-Men wasn't selling like nothing. That's why those books immediately became, big sellers. It was only like, I think it was,
It's also why those books are so hard to find because the X-Men, they weren't big sellers. So even when you do something like giant size X-Men at the end of the day, that was effectively a reboot for a lot of this stuff. It's one of the reasons why it's so hard to find. This was not a high selling book, not even with Neil Adams on the book.
yeah. And that's even when you go to the Neil Adams one, at least those ones were like, print like I don't know. They sold about 200 under it was under 250,000 copies, and the new X-Men, the start of that was well under that, like very much lower. So it's like, whereas you to get to 250, you had to do double that. So it's like maybe 400,000 that they published, or more than that, 450,000. So it's like there's at least some. Well, Neil Adams also say that a lot of the people were keeping, like the store owners was like, oh, this is great, let's keep them. That's not the, oh, we returned, those were damaged, those all were damaged. So, but yeah, it's one of those things that it's really the character itself that's the name. And there are people who have interests, the supply and demand. The supply is there, but the demand is high. So there you go. Anyway, it looks like fun, and I guess this time we're just going in it. Maybe they'll sneak into Spider-Man, but it doesn't look like they need to. They're just gonna have some. They're gonna let there be Carnage and a couple other Venom type characters, and the little bit of human drama with his wife, and we'll see what happens. But that opening started making him look cool, and then reminded us he's still Eddie Brock. It's fun. So, anything else?
No, I just want to see it now. There's no more needs to be said. Just time to see the film. So
All right.
we're just gonna have to be patient. Wait out the rest of the summer and the autumn.
Spin a rack.
Out.